February 25th, Chilton County Commission meeting to order. And I'd like to thank all of you guys for taking time to come out tonight to help us tend to the county's business. It's important to us that y'all care enough to come, and we thank you for that. We have a couple of additions to the agenda. Sylvia's going to run through those before we do approval of the agenda.
We want to add Second Amendment support resolution,
Okay.
and under yours, payment of social.
Okay. All right, do we have any deletions that anybody knows of off the top of their head? We're gonna need to delete Robert Dees. We took care of that in a work session, and I'm gonna follow up with him, so that one will not need to be in our meeting minutes. Anything further? All right,
I make a motion, we approve the agenda with additions and deletions.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Have you guys had an opportunity to review the minutes of the February 10th meeting? And if so, could I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I propose a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting dated February 10th, 2020.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the claims dated February 25th? And if so, could I get a motion to pay the bills?
I make a motion, we pay the bills for February 25th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, guys, we come to the public comment section, and we have Terry and Shane Bates concerning County Road 468. If you guys would like to come to the podium, the only thing I would ask of you that you either leave your phone at your seat or put it on airplane mode where it won't interfere with our audio.
How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How are you guys tonight?
I'm pretty good, I guess. I want to say, whatever you had to do with it, all of it, I'm sure you had something to do with it. But I appreciate the work they're doing on County Road 28.
Yes, sir.
It's overdue, but it's getting done.
It's getting done.
So,
It's going to
better
affect a
late
lot
than
of
never.
people in a very
That's
positive way.
Excuse me, that's that sales tax dollars that we talked about and got raked over the coals for?
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's our sales tax and your sales tax at work. That's what I like to see. We see a result of it. Mr. Bates can attest to that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I don't mind paying taxes.
That's
as long
right.
as you use it.
Yes,
Well, we
sir.
made a commitment to the public when we passed that thing that we would put that money to work, and we have with the largest paving project that this county's ever seen.
Okay, good.
With
And
asphalt.
that's
Thank the
only
Lord.
phase one.
With asphalt, that's right. And striped lines.
Well, let's get into why we're here.
Okay.
County Road 468, I don't know if you know where it is. It's, it cuts off of County Road 465, which comes on, enters 28 right there, just below the water plant.
Yes, sir. I know where it's at.
It's about a half a mile long. And a quarter of a mile of it is a hill. It's uphill.
Very steep.
Excuse me.
We have an erosion problem, a big one. And the county road department has done some things, but they just don't do it right. You know, I'll show you some pictures.
Please.
The first one here is his lot, which is out in here. I wish I had more pictures of it. But that's his lot, and this is, I was standing up here when I took that picture, but you can see the road there.
Mhm.
That's the damage that was done to it in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
They came down there and they put that
reclaimed asphalt.
Right. Which I think their intentions were good, but it was kind of like, General Patton, their methods were wrong. They didn't build the road up. On the right side of the road, it's down to bedrock, and I'll show you that right here. It's down to bedrock, and, that's the stop, that's the top. They didn't have enough crawl away. They stopped it right there. You'll see the ditch, there's no ditch over there.
Right.
Well, it washed that stuff away. It washed it right down the road. And the pipe goes under the road right there where that little tree.
This is a river road, correct?
Yeah,
I thought I seen the river back.
Looks like it's cut right in the middle of a hill.
It is.
I mean, it
That's one of
literally
those roads
cut out
we
of a hill.
inherited
Cut out
from
on the
Alabama
side.
Power years ago.
Oh, great, yeah.
it's been there since the fifties.
Right.
But this is some more pictures of
Y'all seen it?
Yeah, we've seen it.
the asphalt in the ditches.
Have you been there
in the
today?
pipe. I've been there today.
So, the follow-up with the county engineer this morning, and he's away getting some herbicide application, continuing education hours. But he said that they started working on this, I don't know when, a couple weeks ago. And the rain came, and it got in a way that they couldn't finish their project. And he said that he's got banks on either side, which it has an effect on getting the water off the road. The road is in the banks on the sides. But he said that his solution to stop some of the erosion is to put a large stone on the hill. And they had started that, and then the heavy rains came and they couldn't finish it. And he said his men were under standing order to go back there as soon as the rain finished and try to stabilize that hill with some, what he calls wrap, which is a 2 to 3 inch stone. And they're supposed to have been out there this morning working on that, unstopping that culvert and removing that stuff that had washed onto the adjacent property, onto your property.
I'm glad you talked about the culvert. They did that today. They did this Friday. They came back down there and smoothed it out. Now, that's the same location as where the erosion was.
Right.
First picture. They smoothed it out. And it cut out into it in 3 different places out there because there was no ditch.
Right.
They didn't build a road. You can't dig through that bedrock.
Sir, with all due respect, can I ask you a question? Do you know how much rains fell in the last 22 days?
I know how much rain fell in the last 3 years.
No, the question was, do you know how much rains fell in the last over 20 inches in the last 22 days?
I know.
And I'm sure that if we ever get a break from this, that we're gonna have to do something to make it better. I understand that. But that right there, you was talking about, that was just wasted. At the time, for what they got to work with, I don't know what else to do. Nobody has the answer in the whole state of Alabama what to do about these roads that are washing out right now. We got paved roads that are washing out all over this state. But you know what? We're trying to manage the best we got, what we got to work with at the time. You know what I mean?
Mr. Chairman, may I interject
Yes,
something?
sir.
Commissioner Hardy, I'm going to defend our engineer on this. He is our county engineer, and I'm going to defend him until he is here to defend himself. I see the issues, I've talked with him, but if we going to talk about someone not knowing what he's doing, I would like for him to be here to defend himself.
Okay.
Well,
And I'll be
he is
more than happy to
committed.
meet with him, or anybody. Okay.
That they were supposed to clean out. See how much, there's a spring runs down that ditch.
Yes, sir.
That's the spring. It spilled the pipe up, so you got about that much at the top of the pipe that's not stopped up. Now, you tell me, you're talking about rain. What's it gonna do to his property when it rains just a little bit?
Same thing it did to mine on 461. It washed it out.
Yeah.
Same thing it did to mine.
We know we've got
You know what I mean?
problems, and
I agree with you. Same
That's
thing.
the other end of the pipe, I mean, it's.
That's the end coming out. That's the end going in. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he has committed to me today that he would see
That's
this
coming
through
in.
to get it fixed.
That's
They
going
are
in.
under a good bit of duress right now because we've got roads that are not eroding. We've got roads that are impassable for school buses all over the county. So they worked, two of the road crews worked last Saturday, and they're scheduled to work 2 road crews again this Saturday on overtime. And he is discussing adding daily hours in between the rain event to even try to get the roads passable in the county.
I've got 7 messages today on roads in this county.
It's
One of them
bad.
that we were all tagged in, of roads in this county. And I
Mr.
understand,
Bates
Mr. Bates, you're saying this has been an ongoing problem.
Oh,
Okay, I understand what you're
Does this
saying.
road,
This
this
is-
pipe come out on your
this is
property?
the erosion that's going into the creek.
Pipe goes at an angle to my property, goes in a ditch, but now everything is going.
Is that where the bank is on each side?
See that
Ditch
pier
washed out?
Yes, sir.
right there?
They filled the pipe up
3
the
years
other day.
ago, 2 years ago.
Pull that stuff down this
Pull
wintertime.
that side of the pier.
Yes,
They don't tighten up because it's not hot.
Step off the ground on it.
yes, sir.
So
Just a
what
couple days before
changed
that big
with the
rainstorm.
road in the last 3 years that
Oh,
caused the erosion differently from where it was historically?
That's a good question. They will not crown. A steep road like that's got to be crowned, so the water will go to the ditches. They will not do it. They leave it as flat as those pictures you see there. So they put dirt on it, asphalt, or whatever they put down. It's as flat as it's floor.
Is this,
That hill is like this.
I'm sorry, is that your driveway? Is that what that is?
That's it.
That's where my driveway ends into the lot.
That's where it ends the lot? So there's no pipe in that driveway, is that correct?
The pipe
Pipe was up
goes
here.
across the
It
road
got
right there. That was all
stopped up.
grass before they,
So this ain't your driveway where you go in at, where they put this
it looks
black?
like a driveway, but it's water.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure, because is there a driveway that comes off
Right at
that
the bottom of the
road?
hill, there's a pipe that goes at this.
Oh, so at the bottom of the hill is where your
Drains all the
driveway
water.
is? Okay, I was just trying to understand, so this is the top of the
They
hill?
stopped up,
Okay,
and then all went down there.
That's where the pipe is.
yes, sir. Okay, I understand now. I didn't know if that was a driveway or
You
not.
can't see it
I got you.
there, but you can see it now.
Mr. Bates, have you met with our engineer about this issue on site?
Yeah, I met him down there last year. Him and, Matt.
Epperson.
Sherry, I believe.
Matt Epperson.
They all came down there to look at the erosion problem going out into the creek. Now, the best of my knowledge, me, Matt, and the other guy walked out there, but I don't even think the engineer got out of the truck. I may be wrong. I'm getting old, I can't remember it as I used to.
Well, he's given me his word that he's gonna try to fix this road for you guys.
The only way this road be fixed is to be built up, crowned, and if they don't put the black stuff on it, and the other black stuff they put on there did pretty good. It held up once it got packed in. But they put it, this year, that time they put it 2 or 3 inches thick. This time, it was 6 to 8 inches in some spots.
Have they put in the pea gravel on it
Now,
and put in the pea?
Well, we're going to follow up with Tony on this, and we're gonna follow up with you guys, and we're gonna try to get your road fixed.
if you don't crown it, you're not gonna fix anything. I'm telling you, I've been down there a long time.
The,
Right.
the erosion problem is such a big deal, and you can see it in some of those pictures. I guess most people would be proud to add cubic yards to their property at the river
Right.
because of how valuable that property is. I've got a beach that goes past that wall right there that used to not be there. He's got pictures several years ago when it rained a lot and water was coming down a ditch. He was standing in that sandbar that used to not be there up to his knees.
Right,
That's filling in that creek.
yeah.
Now everybody's worried about the snails. We can't build no piers or docks without getting, spending tens of thousands of dollars to get divers down there, take a bucket of snails and move them a mile away and dump them back out.
Yeah,
But they fill in the creek in. All the sand's coming off the road because it's not crowned. Stuff's getting dumped on the road, washed in there. There's no ditch. The little bit of ditch there is, when it does go down the right place, when the pipe's not stopped up, is going into the creek.
I'm fearful that even with a crown road, because I build roads every day to work on, even with a crown road, when you have this kind of rainfall, it's not gonna
It's
just
not
wash
just-
this way, it's gonna wash this
It's
way.
not just
and
February. It's been
gonna
going on for years.
Well, we've been.
My aunt has a pier there. The back of the pier against the bank, you used to stand up chest high pull your boat up, tie it up, whatever you want to do, swim. The pier now against the bank is below your knees.
Right.
There is a pier buried under that sand on my property right now, a whole pier that you cannot see.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt
And
it.
it's going that way.
Yeah.
And all that come from the road.
That's a major tributary.
Everything
of the
comes from the
Coosa
road.
River.
Nothing come from everywhere else. Just everything was from the road.
That-
Okay.
And whatever, this is, I'm coming here.
Digging the dirt.
If this has to be the first step, if I have to get, engineers, power company, ADEM, Coosa River Keepers, that's what I'm gonna do because it's been going on too long. It's not about February. It's not about this year. They dumped asphalt out right before all the weather forecasters forecast a huge storm. It just made it that much worse.
Well, what-
Now the asphalt is going in the creek with the sand, and that black stuff is in the creek.
I understand you, but sometimes we make decisions trying to help people,
Mhm.
and it winds up hurting them, and nobody can predict how many inches of rain you're gonna have. We've had some of these rain events since January that were predicted to be a half inch, and they turned out to be 6 inches. And so when they're trying to get in there to get your road passable, and then overnight it dumps 6 inches of rain on it, I mean, it's danged if you do and danged if you don't.
Well, and I appreciate them trying to fix it. It was the wrong time, but this is an ongoing problem. The sand in there, this is years going on. That's what I wanted to say about it.
Right.
So, yeah, we have this problem right here. Yeah, they're gonna try to fix it, but we got bigger issues than that down there.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all's
We're
time.
gonna work on this for
We
you.
got a lot of river roads that's giving us. I can tell you another right now. A lady called me about today that her 85-year-old mother can't get out because she had to park at the neighbor's house and walk down. A lot of the river roads are catching a lot more devil because they are, everything's sloped to the bottom of the hill. Just about everywhere you go out there, if you own property, you got a slope.
Well, and the reason we pave in 28 and 32 is going to the river, correct? I've heard that in some of the meetings, the Republican meeting last week. It's because a lot of the property owners down there pay so much more, they carry a lot of the load
No,
for it.
sir.
No.
No, sir.
I mean, I got this on video.
No,
Yeah, but that wasn't.
that ain't-
Okay.
It ain't said that on video.
Okay, I'm just saying,
Well, there
the
were
property,
people-
the property
there were-
costs a lot in taxes.
Yes, sir, it does. But that
We-
wasn't said on video.
We spent a lot of money down there a couple of years ago. New boat ramp, retaining wall, grass, more than once.
Alabama Power did that.
No, I did that. And
Oh,
my
I
father-in-law
thought, I
did
thought
that.
you talked with that at Higgins Ferry,
No, at my spot.
your place, okay.
And now I don't even want to try to put a camper down there or a house or anything or a pier because I don't know what's going to happen to the creek. A few years it may be a stream there. And I know you have issues with the city and all before, with the Army Corps, the sand coming out of the park and all that stuff coming down the creek. Maybe it's just not the issue with that road, but there's a huge issue going on in that creek.
Is that
all the
is that,
bends and
what's
everything.
they call it creek?
Yellowleaf Creek.
Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek. Yes, we do. We
Yeah,
just
well,
you heard us talking about it earlier, right?
Yellowleaf Creek's on them.
Right.
I heard you talking about a creek, but I think you were talking about
That's
up
it.
probably close
That's
to Walnut
Walnut
Creek
Creek.
Church or something.
Walnut Creek. Are they widen it?
I appreciate y'all's time.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for the Veterans Office thing. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Crown it. Save 90% of the stuff filling in the creek and going on the.
That is Walnut Creek.
Crown.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Judge Calhoun?
Yes, sir. Again, thank y'all for allowing me to be on the agenda. Real quick, tonight I would like to humbly request a resolution to solicit bids for probate accounting software.
I make a resolution to get bids for probate accounting software.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? For a few public notes, for those of you who weren't here during the work session, state auditors are unhappy with the reports that are being generated from our current software. And so we're at a place where to be compliant with what the state requires, we're going to have to update our software system. Judge Calhoun is hopeful that the monthly service fees that we're paying currently to the 3 vendors for monthly maintenance will cover the cost of upgrading the software, yet we won't know until we get the bids in. So any other comments, questions, or concerns regarding soliciting bids for new accounting software? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Second thing is the election. Next Tuesday is the primaries. Public demonstration tomorrow at noon. In case someone would like to know about the electronic voting machines,
Where will that be, Judge?
that'll be at the facility building here in Clanton, right by the high school ball field.
Okay.
And Also, we have a poll working class this Thursday at 6 p.m. in the large courtroom. Also present that night will be 23 new student interns to participate in the poll workers. So we're very excited about that. And the last thing I have is Union Grove voting location has been moved from the fire station to the Baptist church.
Okay.
And that's
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
y'all.
Sheriff?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'd like to request a resolution to have Lauren Ziegler be reclassified as a full-time corrections officer. She'll be replacing the vacancy we have at the jail.
Make a resolution, we request a reclassification, is that right?
Yeah.
Reclassification of Lauren Ziegler as a full-time correction officer to fill the position of Lauren Collin.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Second, will be, I'd like to request a resolution to pay emergency repairs on our fire protection system. Will be paid from our jail maintenance fund.
I'll make a resolution to allow emergency repairs for the fire protection system to be paid from the jail maintenance fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. And you
Jim.
had the request for a resignation of
Yes,
Lauren
for
Cole.
Crystal Kohler.
Okay.
I'll make a resolution to accept the resignation of Miss Lauren Crystal Cologne.
Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to the administrator's report. Ms. Sylvia?
I'd like to request an increase in pay of 3% for Tiffany Easterling, our janitorial staff.
I propose a resolution to give Tiffany Easterling a 3% pay increase.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Floor is open for comments. Ms. Easterling has been employed since 2016, and she has not received a pay raise during that time. And Ms. Sylvia has advised us that she thinks she's doing a good job, and she's meeting the requirements of her job, and she would like to see her get a pay raise. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Request a resolution to pay an excess bid to the circuit clerk mandated by court order.
I make a motion to allow excess bid to be paid to the circuit clerk.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I'd like to request that the commission show support for the census program and possibly an amount of funding that they might be willing to make.
I'll make a resolution that we create a budget line item for the census, for the 2020 census for Chilton County, which is very important. So we'll discuss that here in a minute if you'll open discussion. I don't know if y'all discussed it or not.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
How much?
How much?
Up to
Did you have that?
5,000.
Yeah, up to 5,000, I'm sure. We got several opportunities. We need more funding to our county through federal funding. We need, if I may address this.
Please.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chairman.
It's appropriate.
We are really hammering this home to try to get our census numbers up for Chilton County, which is also determines our representation on a state level
Federal and state.
and federal and state level with the House Representative and the state level. Our funding for our school programs and many other federal programs that we're funded here in this county, and some federal funding for our roads that we need to really have everybody participate in the census, and it's hard sometimes because a lot of people don't want to participate in the census. They don't want nobody to know where they live or what their birth date is. It's 5 questions you got to answer. So we need, we're going to put signs up on each end of the county, like promoting our census. We're working in jointly with the city and also the Chamber of Commerce. We're working with we got committees. We're working with our local pastors and trying to do community events, and all that takes funding and material. And so Miss Sylvia's on the board, and Miss McKeisha and myself. And we just, I think it'd be a great idea for the county to invest in this census. So,
And so if I understand you right, Jimmy, you have requested that we support a resolution that would establish a line item in our budget
yes, sir.
and appropriate $5,000 toward
Yes, sir.
promoting the census.
We did, and just to add to that, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, just to add to that, we did apply for a grant through this, which we just was denied the grant. You know how grants are. You get them or you don't. You just take, excuse me. So, yes, Mr. Chairman, that's what I'm asking for.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Already second.
Very
We
good.
have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to clear on the amount was 5,000, up
Yes,
to
sir.
5,000.
Up to 5,000.
So they have to come back and get permission where to spend it or what to spend it on, or?
It's just gonna be just spending on literature and that for the census. It won't be,
Whatever's needed.
yeah, whatever's needed. That's right.
It'll be things like signage, handouts, and other things that.
We're actually
that-
gonna invite I'm sorry,
that-
Mr. Chairman.
They don't, it'll be campaigning for the census is what it'll be about.
It'd be listed on your monthly expenditures.
Okay? You got anything else?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
Matt, she's asked us,
Yeah, I'd like to make a resolution showing support for the census and recognize this as a special project.
Second.
we have a motion and a second showing support from the Chilton County Commission for the census and recognizing it as a special project. And that recognition of special project is a requirement from our state auditor for it to be used through our general fund budget. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
And they are hiring a lot of people to do these censuses and paying good money.
Some of
to
these
do it.
jobs are really good paying jobs.
If I may add to that, Mr. Chairman, Benzie said it, a lot of this can be done online, which just starts in March. And what we're trying to do is try to get everything done online so we can cut down the cost of, not us hiring them, but them hiring them and knocking on doors all the time. Because, you know, in this day and time, it ain't like it was 4 or 20 years ago. Somebody knocked on your door, most of us left our doors unlocked. But now, we have a lot of traveling people, a lot of elderly in our town, that we don't want just anybody knocking on the door. And they'll be equipped with their name badges and everything and approved through the census. But if we can get this done online, it'd be so much simpler, so.
Tonight is the second meeting for nominations for the Chilton Water Board. We have one nomination at their request, and that's Mr. Elmore Hicks.
Okay, guys, does anyone else have a nomination? If there are no other nominations, we'll move on to the third meeting and we'll receive nominations at our next meeting and then close the nominations and either appoint or vote.
Elbert Simon.
Simon.
Elbert Simon, it replaces Mr. Elmore Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah, Albert Simon.
Oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry. You're absolutely right. Sorry.
Thank
Albert
you.
Simon. Also, this is the second meeting for nominations for the Chilton County Health Care Authority, and you had a slate that was presented to you.
Are you prepared to nominate?
I just go straight by the list. I talked to Judge Reynolds, and he said that even though Mr. Patterson is looking at leaving, the way they have their 2 and 4 and 6 year nomination set up, you need to just leave it like it is, and if he rolls off, then we'll replace it whenever the time comes.
But we did not nominate.
We did not say those names, and I don't have them in front of me, but
All right.
if you want to read those off, that'll be our nominations.
For a 2-year term, we have Samuel Reed, Terry Connell, and J.C. or Johnny McKinney. For a 4-year term, Neil Bice, Robert Threlkeld, and Cheryl White. For a 6-year term, Kenneth Patterson, Charles Allen Payton, and Mildred Ellison.
Okay. So you're entering those into the minutes
Yes.
as your nomination?
As my nominations.
Okay. So those any other nominations tonight? Hearing none, those nominations will remain open.
And that's Alan Payton, not Alan Caton.
Yeah.
Correct.
And next, I'd like to ask for a resolution to approve the tax levy 2020.
Okay?
I make a resolution to approve the tax levy 2020.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Floor is open for questions and comments. To let you guys know what we're doing, this is a standard requirement when there's any vote or any kind of tax change, and because we had a vote on the education tax, it has to be ratified by the commission and entered into the minutes. So this is just standard operating procedure. This was once a yearly issue that we did every year, and now because of the state guidelines, it only has to be done when one of the existing laws is changed, and this law was changed primarily by the dates that were attached to it. So to meet our auditor's guidelines, we need to get this passed and signed. So any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I'd like to request permission to advertise for a public hearing for, or allow them to advertise for a public hearing for alcohol license application, Wraps C-Store Inc., doing business as Cork and Bottle and Grab and Go.
I'll make a resolution to give permission to advertise for public hearing for an alcohol license application for Rap C-Store Incorporated, DBA Cork and Bottle, and Grab and Go.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Did you say where that was at? Does it say?
I don't know where, I have a file here that probably can tell us where it is.
Somewhere out there on 51, right by your house.
Probably is.
Enterprise. Enterprise.
Right there.
Yeah, the new one in Enterprise.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
Right there at the intersection.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I do oppose.
Let the record reflect that Commissioner Hardy opposes.
And then the self-insurance, just be reminded that we should probably make a decision by our next meeting. It's due by March 15th.
Okay, and I just need some direction from you guys if y'all want me to request for Sonny to come up here, or if y'all want to go ahead and have it.
If we don't have another option, and we can get another option in time, there's no need for him to come. In my opinion, there's no need to lose the ground that we've already attained and the money that we've already built up.
So there's nothing that's keeping us from passing a resolution to move forward with renewing that 3-year contract. We can do it tonight or at the next meeting, but that's up to you guys.
I'll make a motion that we approve the self-insurance update, or the self-insurance fund with ACCA.